Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com. Bringing you another tie-in video today. This one's the last one in the series of wet fly videos. This one's a Flashback Hares Ear. Really cool looking pattern. I was trying to scouring the internet, trying to find patterns that I would like to tie to add to my box. And this one popped up and I thought, man, I love the looks of that one. It's very cool. Hot spots, flashback, just fits right into my wheelhouse of tying. And fits right in with all the other flies in my box. And cool part about it was I looked and saw to find out who tied the fly, and it was Tim Sickles that tied it. Tim lives about an hour north of me here. Incredible fly fisherman, incredible tyer, and just as good of a photographer. Does incredible photography work with his flies. If you don't follow Tim on Instagram and stuff, you need to look him up because he has some incredible patterns. Ties a lot of soft hackles if you like soft hackles. Good guy. Give him a look there, and I'm going to give him a shout out for a great tie here. So anyways, guys, I'm going to quit talking and get into tying this very cool looking pattern. I'm sure you're going to like it. It's the soft hackle hares ear, or flashback hares ear. So here it is in the vise, and then the material to tie it. Alright, here you see the flashback hare's ear in the vise. Let's get into tying it. Very cool pattern. For a hook, I am using a 609. This is actually a size 12 I'm tying it on in the video here. And tying it on the size 12 partially for video, you know, to make it show up better, but also it's a decent size. You can definitely go smaller. I wouldn't go any bigger, but next thing we're going to use is 140 Denier. This is fluorescent orange thread. Start that on there and cut off my tag. Then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to make a nice little hotspot butt. So what I'm going to do is make about 4 or 5 wraps wide and about 3 or 4 wraps high on there. So it just gives you a nice little solid butt section on there. Next thing is some Brassie gold wire, and I'm just going to tie that on the side and bring it right back there to that butt section. And then make sure I get it all tied down. Alright, the next thing we're going to put on is a piece of Mirage Opal Tinsel. This is size medium. I'm just going to put this down right on the top and run it back again right to that butt section. And now I'm going to add some SLF Squirrel Dub. This is natural fox. I would use anything that's natural squirrel dub color. I like the Squirrel Dub. It's a little bit buggier, but it also wraps nice. So it makes I can get this SLF dubbing here, Squirrel Dub, nice and tight. Keep it thin as I want it, but it's still going to have a little bit of spikiness to it. So I'm just going to make a nice tight noodle on there because I don't want this to get too thick. And we're going to get it right back there to that starting point, and we're going to wrap it forward. And I want to make a nice even body the whole way up. I'm going to go just a hair further than that, so I'm going to have to add just a little bit more. Tighten that up. And there we go. I like that. Now we're going to pull our tinsel over the top. I want to keep it right on the top, right square down the top, and tie it down. Make 2 or 3 wraps there. Cut our tag off. And then I'm going to come in with my gold wire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make about 2 or 3 wraps back here on the back just to give a nice little gold tail. And then hop up on to the dubbing. And I'm going to get about 4 wraps on that dubbing, which is going to hold my tinsel in place. So once I get that up to the head, then we're going to tie it off. And the last thing I'm going to do, that hair's a little long, get it out of the way. Last thing I'm going to do is put on a piece of hackle. For a hackle, I'm using Brahma. And this is natural colored Brahma. This makes a great partridge substitute. Partridge is what Tim's pattern called for. And I like partridge, but it can be a little bit tough to work with sometimes, very sensitive. So this Brahma is a little bit tougher material. I like it better. So we're just going to tie that on there by the tip, bottom side of the feather facing down onto the fly, trim my head off, and then I'm going to come in with my hackle pliers. So get my hackle pliers on there. I'm going to just stroke these fibers backwards and try to get them to lay the way I want to as I wrap it on. And if it pops off, not a big deal. If it pops off, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a couple more fibers forward like that. Get into a little bit meatier part of the shank of the feather there. And I'm actually going to unwrap a little bit here to try to cut down on the size of my head. So don't get your head too big. If you break your feather and you have to start over like that, that's a good tip there to go back and trim that up. I don't want my head to be too big at the end. So again, cut that tag off. Just go over your steps again. Correct your mistake and nothing lost. So I'm gonna pull a little, try to not pull as tight this time. And again, stroke those fibers back as I go forward with it. And then when I get it all the way around, we're going to tie it off. Get 2 or 3 nice wraps there, and then cut this shank off. And then I'm going to make the head on my fly. To make the head, I'm just going to use a whip finish. And I'm just going to put one nice small whip finish on there, trying to keep that head small, and then hit a little bit of bone dry just to secure it. So I don't want my head to overpower the fly here, and I achieved that in this fly. I like this head. And that is all that's to this very cool looking soft hackle pattern that's going to catch a fish. Alright guys, hope you like that pattern as much as I do. I tied a couple of them now. I'm going to tie, at least a good dozen or two to put in my box to be ready for this spring. Great generic pattern, a little bit of flash. That's something that I always look for. Just that's a confidence thing for me. For you, might be natural. Don't use the flashback on here. Don't use that Opal tinsel on the back. Do it without, and you're going to have a great looking fly. Anyways, guys, very simple tie if you're into soft hackles. This is all the simple techniques you like, and it's going to make a nice fish catching fly. Change up the size of it. Like I said, I tied it in a size 12 on this hook, the 609 hook. It's not a huge size 12, so it's not a 2x long shank or anything. It doesn't overpower it. I would fish the size 12, but I'm definitely going to tie it down in 14s and 16s too. They'll work great in like a size 16 if you have some small insects coming off. So give it a try, have fun. If you have any questions, leave me a comment down below, or you can email me at holsingersflyshop@gmail.com. I hope you like this series I've just completed here on wet flies, and I'm going to have to do it again because I've got a lot of great response to it. So thanks for that. I enjoy tying them, I enjoy fishing them, and I hope you do too, because it's a great way to fish, especially, when that 5% or 10% of the time when the nymphs ain't working. This is a great thing to go to. It changes it up and you can have fun with it. Anyway, guy, any material you need to tie it, like always, holsingersflyshop.com. We can hook you up with anything you need. And thanks for watching, and until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Sean Holsinger.